Hey guys, in today's video I'm sharing 3 things I learned from the book Training Camp by John Gordon. This book is a fable about an undrafted NFL rookie trying to make the team, and he gives a couple of general lessons, things that we've kind of heard before, but it's the last lesson that I'm going to share that really drives the point home. So the first thing that I learned was mindset. And mindset is something that we're all familiar with, having a growth mindset, having an abundance mindset, all these different things. But in the book, John Gordon emphasizes having a mindset of improvement. Having a mindset of basically saying that every day I'm going to do something to try to make myself better. See, the default is that people are average or sometimes even mediocre. It requires intentional effort on your part to make sure that you're continuously getting better. It reminds me of a quote by John Maxwell where he says, "Age and wisdom don't always come together. Sometimes age comes alone." If you're not intentionally making an effort to get better, it won't happen. So you have to have that mindset. The second lesson that I wanted to share was that of mental toughness. And there's a really good sports analogy, and that is that basically when the pressure's on, when the game is on the line, you have to be able to perform. And in order to be able to perform, your daily process has to be there. You have to have been showing up to practice hundreds and hundreds of times. You have to have come in and put in the work. It reminds me of a couple of years ago in the NBA Finals when Ray Allen hit that shot at the end of Game 6 to win the game for the Miami Heat and eventually beat the Spurs. He's done that shot so many times, thousands of times, and seen it go in, that that one happened to go in as well. That doesn't happen on accident. It comes after hours upon hours upon hours of putting in the work. And that's where that mental toughness comes in. In order to be able to seize the moment and rise up to it and finish strong in that way, you have to put in the work every single day. And the last lesson, and really this is the lesson that it doesn't just tie it all together, it's what stood out the most to me, and it's why I wanted to share this book. And that is that the people who are great or successful, they're not extraordinary, they just happen to do the ordinary things a lot better than everybody else. And he gives a really good example. He says, what's the difference between a baseball player who bats .350 versus .250? And he says the difference is of someone who bats .350 is going to be in the Hall of Fame. He's going to have all types of endorsements, fame, all these different things. And someone that bats .250 is going to be an average baseball player. To put that in perspective, Derek Jeter's lifetime batting average was .310. But that's something that makes him a superstar, a Hall of Famer, and all of these different things. When you break it down, over the course of a season of baseball, 162 games, 4 to 5 at-bats per game, the difference between hitting .350 and .250 is barely a little more than 1.5 hits per week. The person who's getting all of the accolades and is so great as a superstar is really only hitting the ball once or twice more per week than the average person. There's not a lot that separates them. They're not batting 700, they're not batting 800, they're not doing something ridiculously crazy that nobody else can do. They're doing the ordinary things a little bit better than everybody else, and that's what separates them. And for me, this was the biggest takeaway, is that you have to have the process, you have to put in the work, but it's putting in the work on those ordinary things that everybody else ignores. And that's why after a game, you'll hear people say things like, we moved the ball better, we played defense harder, we played with more energy. They sound like cliches because that's what everyone ends up repeating over and over again. But the reality is those are the fundamentals. And when you master the fundamentals better than somebody else and you have a focus on working on those fundamentals over and over again so that you can do them a little bit better than the other person, that's enough to set you apart. That's 3 things I learned from the book Training Camp by John Gordon. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please make sure to hit the subscribe button and the like button and leave a comment. Let me know what book you'd like to see next.